Time I've done a lot of things that I thought I'd never do. I feel like, yeah, I'm sort of excited to see my sister.
Boy George is an English singer, songwriter, DJ, author, and mixed media artist. Best known for his soulful voice and his androgynous appearance, Boy George has been the lead singer of the pop band Culture Club since the group's formation in 1981. His solo hit songs include Everything I Own, Bow Down Mister, Generations of Love, and Love Is Leaving. He's received several awards as a solo artist and as a member of Culture Club. In 2002, he was voted 46th in a BBC poll of the 100 Greatest Britons. In 2015, Boy George received a Novello Award from the British Academy of Songwriters, Composers, and Authors for outstanding services to British music.
All the time I was in here, I just had to let it go. It was quite interesting to get over it, like just go, I'm in the jungle, I have no control.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is George Allen O'Dowd, but is also known as Boy George. He was born on June 14, 1961 in Barnhurst, Kent, England, making him 61 at the time of this production. He stands at 1.83 meters or 6 feet tall. He's a fan of David Bowie. Jean-Paul Gaultier is his favorite fashion designer. Mark Bolan is his favorite music artist of all time. As a singer, he was highly influenced by Joan Rivers. He's a fan of basketball. George's music is often classified as blue-eyed soul, which is influenced by rhythm and blues and reggae. In 2005, Boy George was arrested in Manhattan for cocaine possession and reporting a false burglary. He was sentenced to 5 days of community service in order to attend a drug rehabilitation program. In 2007, Boy George allegedly handcuffed an escort to a wall and beat him with a metal chain. In 2008, he was charged with assault and false imprisonment as a result of the incident and was sentenced to 15 months in jail. After 4 months, he was released early due to good behavior. Boy George appeared on an episode of the BBC television genealogy series Who Do You Think You Are in 2018, on which it was revealed that he was related to executed Irish revolutionary Thomas Bryan, a member of the Forgotten Ten. Boy George has multiple tattoos, including a Christian cross on the side of his face and a Jewish Star of David tattooed on the top of his head. He suffers from depression. His voice was famously described by Bob Geldof as like an old black lady, which Boy George took as a compliment. Boy George said in 2013 he was quite drunk when his head was shaved and tattooed. He said when he stopped drinking alcohol, he lost the desire to have further tattoos on his head, finding it too painful. Legendary comedian, talk show host, and television personality Joan Rivers took him under his wing when he was 21. The friendship lasted for 32 years until Rivers' death in 2014. In the 1980s, much was made of Boy George's androgynous appearance, and there was speculation about his sexuality. When asked by Joan Rivers in an interview on her show in 1983, "Do you prefer men or women?" Boy George replied, "Oh, both." In 1985, when asked by Barbara Walters about his sexual orientation, Boy George said he was bisexual and had various girlfriends and boyfriends in the past. He gave a famous oft-quoted response to interviewer Russell Hardy that he preferred a nice cup of tea to sex. In his 1995 autobiography, Take It Like a Man, Boy George stated that he was actually gay, not bisexual, and that he had secret relationships with punk rock singer Kirk Brandon and Culture Club drummer John Moss.
At all, but after a while, you just kind of float into it. You know, it's interesting because obviously everyone else is going through ups and downs. Every day someone says they want to leave.
Raised alongside 5 siblings in a Catholic working-class family, George had to deal with a violent, abusive father while growing up. In his youth, O'Dowd closely followed the growing new romantic movement in the UK. Eventually, he moved to London, where he became strongly influenced by artists like David Bowie, Mark Bolan, and Patti Smith. Boy George started his career as a member of the group Bow Wow Wow. He then left to start his own band called Culture Club. Although the group recorded many demos, no one seemed to want to sign them to a record deal. Eventually, Virgin Records and Epic Records teamed up to represent the group, and they were able to release a debut album called Kissing to Be Clever in 1982. The album contained the smash hit Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, which topped the charts in nations around the world and reached the number 2 spot in the US. Their follow-up album was called Color by Numbers, and it became an even bigger success when it was released in 1983. By the late 80s, Boy George was becoming more of a central figure, booking cameos on shows like The A-Team, and receiving tons of media attention for his alleged drug addiction. After receiving treatment for various drug addictions, Boy George released his first solo album in 1987. After establishing his own record label in the late 80s, George continued to release a number of singles that were popular in the underground music scene. In 1992, he returned to prominence once again with the hit The Crying Game. As a solo artist, Boy George has released 9 studio albums, 5 compilation albums, and 48 singles. He's also released 7 DJ albums, 3 EPs, and a soundtrack album. In November 2022, he appeared as a contestant on the 22nd UK series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Coming out of here is quite exciting, you know what I mean? Even though they're sort of scared of it a little bit, but coming out of it is just a part of this whole adventure. It's like, right, what next?
He's primarily earned money through music. Outside of music, Boy George is a successful fashion designer and author. In 1995, Boy George released the autobiography Take It Like a Man. It soon became a bestseller in the UK. In 2005, he followed up with a memoir called Straight, which also became a bestseller. Boy George has his own fashion line called Be Rude. Over the years, his collections have appeared on shows in London, New York, and Moscow. He has a net worth of $50 million. At the peak of his fame in the late 1980s, Boy George paid an undisclosed amount for a Gothic Grade II listed mansion in the North London hamlet of Hampstead called The Logs. This property remained Boy George's primary residence for the next 4 decades. After performing a major renovation, George listed the mansion for sale in September 22 for $19.5 million. The mansion has 6 bedrooms, a movie theater, a private roof terrace, and a meditation space. The house has been extensively refurbished and includes a central staircase and a triple-height central hall. The staircase leads to the main bedroom suite, which overlooks Hampstead Heath and features a bathroom with a giant skylight as the ceiling. And there's a landscape garden at both the front and back of the property, as well as off-street parking for several vehicles. Luxury property has 6 bedrooms, including this one with plenty of interesting artwork. Boy George is known for his sartorial style, and several of his hats are on display in this living room, along with photos of iconic singer David Bowie. He likely owns the following cars: a Mercedes-Benz, a Ferrari, a Range Rover, a Mustang Shelby, a Porsche 911, a Bugatti Chiron, an Audi R8,